When we got the turkeys in the other pen, we took the chickens' nipple water away, and we've been just doing them in this watering them in this feed pan. But today I got this one put back, and wasn't sure if it was going to work on gravity fed system, given that it's not much different than where the bottom of the bucket is. But it seems like it's working just fine for them. So I got that all finished up, and then I moved the turkeys up on top of their coop their shelter because it wasn't tall enough for them. This is what I did for the turkeys. So that board has 4 screws holding it down, and then there are 2 screws holding that water onto that board, and it was real secure. I checked. So the only thing is that it's probably going to take 2 of us to move the turkeys now because of the weight of that. But it wasn't. They were having to lean way down to get to the water. And this one could probably even be up on the other one and still be okay. So we're going to go move the turkeys tonight. I'm not going to show it to you because I didn't bring a tripod out or any way to set the camera down. But we're going to go move the turkeys forward and feed them. And I'll give you some video of them so you can see how they've grown up. It's probably been 2 weeks since I put a video out on turkeys. And so they're growing fast. I'm not sure exactly how old they were when we got them, so I'm not sure how big these are, but they're pretty good size. See, this pen is a mess, and it's just time to move them on. So move them forward and maybe fix this leg probably tomorrow, probably not today because it's a little late in the day now. But it needs a leg. This leg right here is even more sideways than it should be, and I think we're going to put one in the center just to straighten it up so we give it better support. So we're going to move this forward and we'll be right back to you. I got the turkeys mostly moved. We've just been pushing their pen to the front little part and then moving it up behind so it doesn't get quite a full move anytime, but they're pretty happy. I guess I should have come out earlier and checked for water, but I checked for water yesterday. They still had water, so they just haven't had water for part of today and made them a little bit upset, but so that's why they're all congregated around the water. This water that put it up here makes it really hard to check, and it makes it so hard to check I don't know if it's worth it. I need to put some kind of level gauge on the outside so that I can at least see when it's empty. You'd think that clear pipe would be enough, but really can't see through it because it's so opaque. So I'll figure something out and we'll get it worked out and we'll tell you about it. Yesterday I made a mistake when I was mowing and I caught a ground wire for our big electric fence that we hook all of our other fences onto, and I snapped it off with the mower, this one. I already refastened it, but something to be aware of, that even with all the fencing power we have here, that something this small can stop the ability of the fencing to work correctly. This fence charger needs 4 ground rods to fence properly, and that by cutting this wire, that took me down a whole ground rod. Something for me to think about, you know, how fragile a system this large is. When we harvested the honey, this is what was left, so this is what I'm taking out to back out to the bees to let them rob out. I don't know how much we got. I think Jerry has a better idea how much we got or how much we have left. But we were using it some of it as we were harvesting it. So this is the very last of the comb though. So I'm gonna take it out and let them rob it out. You notice here though, I mean, there's the bee house up there, and there is just so much clover in bloom here still. So I'm really sure the bees are still very active. I think it's high 70s today. It's supposed to get in the 80s this week, so got some chilly mornings, but still plenty of should be still plenty of activity later in the afternoon. All these days. Let's try to see if I can see some bees. And I don't really see any bees on this clover. I guess there are a few. I was trying to decide if there was any, and yeah, there's some right there. I don't know if how well you can see it on here. I'm using my phone today because that's just what I had. I'm hoping later in the week to come out. The reason I went ahead and brought this out today is because I'm hoping later in the week to come out and do one last hive inspection and see if I need to put a follower board in so that they don't have to secure as much of the hives this winter, keep it warm. So I'm hoping to do that one last inspection because it's supposed to have some pretty warm days this week. And so I wanted them to be able to rob this out. So I brought it out today, and it probably will be all robbed out. Still a good few hours of the sun today. So I would imagine it'll all be robbed out later today because there really wasn't that much there. And then we'll have one last, hopefully have one last video of a hive inspection so I can see how they're set up for winter. But that's just what I did today on this Monday, is brought that out here and trying to get things set up so that I can do a hive inspection later in the week without I'll be able to see how much of this they stored back away. I did not realize, but my father-in-law did get this mounted in a tree, and I can see there's no activity on it still. There won't be probably now, it's way too late. But we'll be putting the swarm trap back out, and it's, I don't know if you can see in there or not, but there are frames in it, so that are scented. So we'll be ready to go first thing in the spring with a swarm trap. I came out today and closed up one of the entrances on the empty hive, and I put this follower board in. So now there's just a few frames in here instead of the whole thing being open, the rest of it. And so I wanted to do this on this hive because this one's empty, and I have a follower board so for the other hives, so I wanted to make sure that it worked on this one, since that there should be really close to the same.